Oh, there it is. Hello and welcome to Tucking It Up. My name is Tuck, and as you can see, I like to play around with makeup. So today I have, in the words of my hero, John McClane, a product-focused film. I'm going to be talking about the cosmetic emulsion line from Depixym. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump straight into the review. Actually, the whole look I'm wearing today is, well, the eyes and the lips anyway. I did it using the Depixym products. So we're going to talk a bit about the, some of the claims of the product, just give you an idea of what it is, how much it costs, all of that, the performance. In terms of the claims of the product, if you kind of just read it off the website or even on the back of the box, basically what it says is it's supposed to be long wearing, like up to 24 hours, that kind of thing. Transfer proof, once it dries and sets, of course. You can mix it, to create your own shades. And it's also quite blendable. It's for all over, right? So as you can see, I've used it on the eyes, the lips. You can use it anywhere you like. It's safe. Just don't eat it, right? And don't put a lot of it directly into your eyeballs, which there's no product that's safe for that. And finally, of course, this is also vegan. It's a little bit, I would say, on the pricey side. Each tube is $26, but you do get a lot of product. You get 12 mils of 0.4 fluid ounces. And you only need really a little bit of product in order to get really good payoff, really good coverage, and quite good opacity. I've bought 6 colors, so the way they do their shade, I guess you could say, categories, names. There's no actual name for each of these shades. Instead, they each get a number. And I think, if I remember correctly, I read somewhere that the intent of that was so that you wouldn't feel like, oh, this shade of blue or the blue that they have, I can only use it in this way because it's called sky blue or something like that. One of the main issues, though, I have with the color mixing part of it is that because the only red that they have in the line isn't like a primary or a true red, it does make mixing a custom shade a little bit trickier because you have to account for the red not being really truly just red, right? There's just a little bit of other colors in it. There's a total of, I counted 20 when I looked yesterday, and so you can get sort of kind of the usual shades you might imagine, right? You can also get pinks and purples, black. But they also have more skin tone shades, so if you want to use it as foundation, you can. I'm not sure I would, just because, like I said, the consistency is a little bit, I think, too thick for that purpose. They also have a couple of kits and bundles that reduce the price of each, per tube slightly, so just go ahead and check it out on their website. I'm in the US, and so this Depixym is based in the UK, and so it's a little bit tricky to get these. The shipping can be quite expensive if you buy it directly from the Depixym website. Your other options, an obvious one would be Beauty Bay, but I had a terrible customer service experience with them when I ordered this, so I've actually decided I'm not going to buy anything from Beauty Bay anymore. It was kind of that bad. I won't go into the details. But where I ended up picking up this product was from a British website called Guru Makeup Emporium. So they had great prices, fast shipping, everything was very reasonable. So I was really happy with my order. So each tube comes in a little cardboard box. It has the name of what it is, and also kind of the shade number here, and then a swatch that's actually pretty accurate. And you also get things to sort of help and, I guess, facilitate your creativity, right? So as I mentioned, these the colors, if you want to make your own custom shades, like I actually have done, the blue here is a little bit custom, and then the lips are also custom. This plum is a custom shade. They give you a little aluminum tray as well as a wooden spatula so you can mix up to your heart's content. As I mentioned, this product resembles to me nothing so much as thick acrylic paint. It's actually kind of a little bit gel-like, so when you're trying to mix it, or when you're dipping your brush into it, you do get that little bit of resistance, and you kind of have to break down or flatten out the product a little bit so that it really I guess, glides on much more smoothly. And I think in terms of application, you could use anything, of course, but I would say that generally it's best with a brush. And I've even found like a cheap paintbrush, like sometimes for detail work, I just need like quite stiff bristles. So like something from the art store, those work just fine. So in terms of color payoff, as you can see from the swatches that I'm putting up, right, they're really quite vibrant. You get really nice opaque coverage, and I'm not a good swatcher, so you can see even with like my terrible attempts at swatching, like even then the color comes off really nicely, right? And I would say in terms of like how the colors look in real life, it's quite true to what you see on the website, what you see on the packaging, so that's always really nice. And then assuming you're not putting the color down on kind of an oily surface, I mean, we'll get into that, but my lids can get very oily. It goes on really quite smoothly. It does blend out quite well, but a big caveat to this is that it dries really quickly. And so because it dries really fast, that's both a good and a bad thing. So because, when I put it on my lid, I didn't have to wait more than like 3 or 5 seconds before it was set. And once it's set, actually, it doesn't move. But because it dries so quickly, if you're trying to, kind of do a more blended look, you have to work really, really fast. Otherwise, you can get quite patchy results sometimes. And unlike the Color Fix products from Danessa Myricks, right, which is kind of, I would say in my mind, sort of like the closest thing that I've experienced before, you can still blend it a little bit even after it's dry. With this, I found it will not move once it's set. Let's talk about the longevity aspect of this thing. That's kind of one of its main claims, I would say, right, is that it's gonna last forever, you don't need to set it, and it's very resistant to like all sorts of like things. And in my experience, that's true, but there's a couple of caveats. So it is very sensitive to oil, right? It cleans up very easily with an oil-based cleanser, but by that same token, if you have slightly oilier skin or if you have like very oily eyelids like I do, you have to be very cautious about very conscious, I should say, about how you prepare the surface. So like for my eyelids today, what I did was, in addition to using eyeshadow primer, I also first cleaned my eyelids with a makeup remover, just to make sure my eyelids were sort of as oil-free as they could be. And with that, you can see it's lasting, and I'll put up some pictures here of a wear test I did really quickly. I had it even after about 3 hours. You don't see like any movement at all. When I did my wear test, I did one side with eyeshadow primer, one without. As you can see, there's not much difference between the two in terms of like longevity, but where there is a difference is in terms of blendability. So on the side without the eyeshadow primer, the color blends out much more smoothly, much more evenly, whereas with the eyeshadow primer side, it set down faster, and then it was also like not so easy to blend. As you can see, it was kind of patchier where I tried to blend it. So that's just something to be aware of, right? It's not necessarily a bad or a good thing. And finally, in terms of needing to set it with powder, you really don't have to. And so if you're applying eyeshadow, it sticks just fine, but the eyeshadow does not blend out once it's on, kind of on the areas where you've applied this product. All right, so the final sort of aspect of this product I'm going to talk about is whether or not it's sort of like a truly all-over product. Yes, in a sense, right? You can use it everywhere, and I'm going to take their safety claims at face value for now. I did like it best on the eyes much more than I did on the lips. So on the lips on its own, I found it settled into like lines on the lips, and it felt really dry, like the driest like matte liquid lipstick you could imagine. So today what I did was I actually put down a layer of lip liner first, right? So it's not so much about making sure things don't bleed, because as you saw from the transfer test, things will not move. But it's more about the comfort and also just making sure I had much more of an even canvas for this product. I have not tried this out on the face. Again, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work on the face. My main concern is that because it dries so quickly, if you need to like blend out the color right on the face, it might be a little tricky. It's easy to clean off your face and your eyes if you have an oil-based cleanser, but cleanup of like the product when it's gone on the palette, the cleanup of your brushes, I find that really a bit of not a nightmare exactly, but just more difficult than I feel I want to bother with on a regular basis. If you have, I have to resort to like coconut oil, just like straight coconut oil, to really clean my brushes and to get the trays really clean as well. And then on top of that, I have to use dish soap to really make sure I get everything off the trays, get everything off the brushes. And so because of that, I would recommend, don't use this with natural hairbrushes. It's best with synthetic. So overall, I would give the cosmetic emulsion from Depixym probably a B. I think it has a lot of really strong points, but it does have a couple of issues that made me kind of give it a slightly lesser grade. But if you're someone who likes playing around with makeup, you don't mind that there's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to products, I think you'll be very happy with this. In terms of performance, I think this is a really good product. It kind of lives up to a lot of the claims, right? Which is, I'm inclined to disbelieve a lot of marketing copy. And then finally, the price. It is a little bit pricey, and I'm in the US, so it's hard to get this. And so I would say, if I was going back in time, like I don't regret getting these at all. But if I was going back in time and I knew what I knew then, what I know now, God, that was a little tricky. I'd probably spend my money on the Color Fix products instead, just because those are a little bit easier for me to get, and so if I needed to return them for whatever reason, again, that's also easier. If you're, I guess, in the UK or in Europe, where I think it's the reverse, right, of what I have here, where Color Fix is harder to come by and this is much more accessible, I would go with this over Color Fix. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that useful. So until next time, stay safe, take care, and bye!